It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. On Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, welcome. If you had the day off for Veterans Day yesterday, I hope you enjoyed it. Did something memorable. Maybe did a little something to commemorate those who have served. I will admit, and this isn't exactly like coming out of the closet or anything groundbreaking. I love a good monkey story. And if there's anything that I learned from my Gen X upbringing that I think you guys did as well, and that is we like to root for the underdog, or in some cases, the under monkey. The other day, we were talking about the story about the monkeys who escaped the research laboratory. I believe it was in South Carolina. 43 monkeys escaped a South Carolina research facility last week because an employee didn't fully lock a door.
Yep.
Well, since we've talked about that, last report was 25 of those 43 monkeys have been recovered and returned to the lab, which leaves 18 still running amok outside the facility. And I mentioned the movie Project X from the 80s. That's where it was like the monkey space program. They were testing the monkeys and trying to get them to send to space and fly and all this stuff. And if memory serves me, which it rarely does because I have a poor memory because I ran into a wooden playground equipment as a child. Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at me go if that's correct. And if it's not, just let me roll for now. And they saved the monkey. They saved the monkeys at the end, or at least they tried to. And that was what I learned in my Gen X upbringing, is to help the little guy, or in this case, help the little monkey escape the dirty, dirty research facility.
Mm-hmm.
I want these monkeys to be free, because I will also admit that while I appreciate scientific research on other beings for my benefit, I don't want to see it, hear about it, know about it. And I certainly think it's a travesty to test cosmetics on animals, because that's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. But you want free-range macaques. That is your solution too.
Look, it's a delicate balance. There's this world. I mean, it's good, it's evil, it's science, it's art.
But out of the 80s, where most people, if you talked about 80s movies and monkeys, would harken back to Sigourney Weaver's amazing performance in Gorillas in the Mist, portraying Jane Goodall, and
yes.
But yours as Project X with Matthew Broderick.
Hey, he met Sarah Jessica Parker on the film. They fell in love, and they have been happily married since. So there was, a crap movie, but a beautiful outcome,
and a gorgeous message.
Yes, that you too can find love on the set of a monkey movie. Is that the message you're trying to send?
Well, Sarah Jessica Parker, she could have fallen in love with that Lawrence kid on Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but I guess that wasn't in the cards. I honestly, Trey, don't know if I saw all of Gorillas in the Mist. I think in the O'Malley household that night, we hit the video store on the way home, because we always got like a stack of videos for the weekend. And Friday night was typically, we would start with the family film, so I could watch it. That would have been the Project X, I guess. And then the movie that came on after that into the VCR would have been the more adult one. And I usually fell asleep early in that because I was just tired.
Well,
I think we had the monkey double feature. We started with Project X, and then they put on Gorillas in the Mist, and it was very sleepy for little me. So
if there was another monkey movie, it was Every Which Way But Loose for you. Come on.
I watched that at my papa's house.
Let's be honest. The reason why you didn't see Gorilla in the Mist is because it was a good movie.
Yes, I was going to say, if it was like Gorillas in the Mist versus Jason, you would watch that. Like Freddy versus Jane Goodall. Like you would watch that movie.
Absolutely. Do you not hear yourself?
I
That
do.
has Blockbuster written all over it.
Yes, it has Blockbuster Video written all over it, and they're out of business. Like that's why you fell asleep. It's because it was a damn good movie.
I'm going to look this up, but I guarantee you, I bet I was like 5 or 6 years old when Gorillas in the Mist came out.
And you were 8.
I was 8.
Yeah,
It came out in 1988, so I believe that's
okay. So yeah, I would have been about 8 years old.
Yeah.
I saw Jaws at the age of 5, and that kept me awake for sure. But I mean, Gorillas in the Mist didn't have the same story that Project X did. I mean, Project X had flying monkeys. Well, monkeys who could fly. Well, monkeys piloting things. It's probably more accurate. Yeah.
Yes.
Flying monkeys. I just would have been Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, and this is a movie about a wonderful lady who gave up her life to help gorillas and communicate with them and teach them how to communicate back. It was just a all around beautiful movie. So I can see where you would.
You said beautiful. I heard boring.
Yeah, that's right. Now had the at the end had the gorillas eaten Jane Goodall. I think it would have kept your.
Oh, that would have been a fun twist.
Yeah, not for Jane, but for little Danny, who would have. Yeah.
I do want to use this as an inspiration because I do think it's important that while we are inside the treehouse physically, we have our dear listeners that are metaphorically inside the treehouse, figuratively inside the treehouse with us. And I want to give one of our listeners a chance to be a little bit deeper inside the treehouse with us because one of our dear listeners has decided to throw a verses at us. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hang on.
Yeah.
I got to change the colors on those. All right, it's time for a listener-provided verses inside the treehouse. Jay, on our X Twitter account, has proposed to us a verses.
Okay.
Based on the escaped monkeys from the research facility. Would you rather the outcome be the movie Outbreak or Planet of the Apes? So in today's version of verses, listener provided, the monkey escape from the research facility. Would you rather that result in the plot in real life being Outbreak or Planet of the Apes? Yes, Trey, your hand is up. Or is that like a monkey salute?
No, are we having to live in the town where the outbreak took place?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you basically get the monkey escape happens. Would you rather live in Outbreak the movie or live in Planet of the Apes? I don't want to break your brains here.
No, I would go with Planet of the Apes.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because the disease in Outbreak was like horrific, right? It isn't like it was a very long and arduous way to die.
I believe so, yeah.
Whereas opposed to, you know what? I have the gift of gab, and I can make friends with the monkeys that have now taken over.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think I could win over their hearts and minds.
Gotcha. Not a little bit of a solid crowd work can't accomplish.
You know, I have some monkey humor. You know, spent time in India. I know Hinduism has a monkey god.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm already used to worshiping a monkey god. What's 42 more?
Sure. Trey, what about you? Are you going with the plot of Outbreak to live or Planet of the Apes?
I'm gonna go with Outbreak.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because one of two things are going to happen. Either they're going to find the vaccine or they're going to bomb the town. Either way, it's over pretty quick.
That's a good point.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
That is excellent. I'm going to go with the Planet of the Apes version, mainly because I feel like we've had a good run and I want to see what the monkeys can do with it.
Yeah, that's what I would kind of want to see that too. Like, let's see what you guys, now that you can think and speak and articulate, what do you see wrong with things and how would you fix it? As opposed to like sores and oozing, pussing things before the town gets bombed, or they find a vaccine and now my face looks like Edward James Olmos. And so I don't.
God,
Yeah,
nobody
don't-
wants that.
No, I'd rather have the monkeys ruling things than be pock riddled.
I'll admit, I did not expect an Edward James Olmos reference to
No one does.
creep in here. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You never do, but then there he is.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Time now to talk to Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration for your free roof inspection. And to get on the Cook list, call 833-COOK-DFW, the website cookdfw.com. The other day, Daniel, we were talking, and you mentioned critters in the attic. I have to admit, at one point in my life, I lived with some friends, and in their roof, they had critters in the attic, specifically horny raccoons.
Dan, that happens a lot, especially in areas that have a lot of trees, vegetation, water sources, perfect areas for, our night creatures and squirrels and rats and all kinds of stuff, because they're just like us. They don't want to be cold. Don't want to be wet. They are looking for safety and they're looking for warmth. And that's where they're going to go. Majority of the time is in little cracks around your roof line. They could be on the side of your siding, going up into your cornices. Trevor, one of our project managers, just went out the other day and had to fix a hole going into someone's front of the porch because they actually did have a family of raccoons that had gone up there and made their babies. And, and they didn't want to come back again. And so then we had to go out there and fix those holes and get those closed up and sealed them up. And not only that, I mean, it just gives you more areas that, you could cause more damage to your property. And so, there's so many things that, you do not want rodents of any kind, trapped in your attic or running around. So yeah, let us come out. We can do an assessment. We're not the best exterminators or trappers, but we can definitely, hopefully seal that up to where they won't be able to get back in there.
If you have, or even suspect you have, raccoons in your cornices, you call Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. I learned a new word today. 833-COOK-DFW, 833-COOK-DFW, or the website cookdfw.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That first segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by our friends at Fair Lease. Ready for a new vehicle? Then you are ready to call Fair Lease. Or you can just email them. Either way, they'll get back to you. Go to fairlease.org today. That's fairlease.org to get your new vehicle from Fair Lease. The Treehouse is driven 5 days a week by Fair Lease. Go to the website, fairlease.org. All right, Trey, we apparently put out some misinformation or disinformation, or we were just wrong. I was totally wrong about Project X.
Yes, that was not Sarah Jessica Parker in that movie. It was Helen Hunt.
Oh,
Interesting.
but Matthew Broderick was in it, right?
Yes, Matthew Broderick was in it, but they actually didn't meet until like 1991.
Was that on the set of Inspector Gadget?
No, actually, there's a set something on Broadway.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, once again, my brain has betrayed me. I guess I just assumed for some reason. I feel bad. I need to apologize to Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt, I'm sorry. Her career has turned out really, really nicely, despite her being in that film. And I apologize for misremembering her and Sarah Jessica Parker.
It's
but
not.
As you heard, I remember Sarah Jessica Parker plain as day in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which I think Helen Hunt was in that.
I mean, do you remember Square Pegs? That's the question.
From PE class. Yeah. You had to put the pegs in the board and work your way up. Yeah, I was never any good at that. I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I don't think that's what. See, sometimes I wonder, Dan, had you not hit the building, what would have happened?
What do you mean hit the building?
Like when you say playground equipment, you need to tell people what it was. It was somebody's woodshed. Or log cabin or something.
No, it was a piece of wooden playground equipment in the middle of the playground
that had just one entrance and exit. You just went straight through.
That was my game. Yeah, I was going to run from one side straight through because the other two sides had bars on them.
Did it have orange cones around it? Caution tape? Anything?
No, it was in the middle of the playground. It was like, there, you're supposed to play with it. It's next to slides and things.
Was anybody else doing this? Or were you following someone else's lead? Like, oh my God.
No, I was a trailblazer.
Yeah. And see, so I think, like, had you not hit it, like in my head, sometimes I think like what kind of scholar you would have been. Like it would have been like Dr. O'Malley or Dan O'Malley, PhD.
Did the guardians at the adoption center and the white lab coats, did they tell you to run into the wooden the thing?
No, I think they let me come to that conclusion on my own.
Okay. So were they scribbling notes furiously when you did it?
What's that?
Were they scribbling notes furiously as you did it?
Yeah, I think that was what kept me out of the flying monkey program.
He's
not smart enough to pilot next to these apes.
Right when it happened, like right when you hit, did you look over and like they just kind of started knocking down some money off the price of the adoption? Like were you discounted at that point, like 20% off, like final sale? Right? Just said no take backsies. I don't know how it worked on the adoption.
That's where they sent me to the 99-cent only rescue kit store.
Like you were full price O'Malley, and then you hit that thing and they're like, we got to knock 40% of this off.
Yeah. Yeah, gold took a beating. By the way, despite me running headfirst into wooden playground equipment affecting my monetary value to my family, Helen Hunt was indeed in Girls Just Want to Have Fun with Sarah Jessica Parker. So, you both.
Well, you created a new game that nobody wants to play, 6 Degrees of Matthew Broderick.
This feels more like 6 Degrees of Project X, but yeah, that's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, I never saw was Girls Just Want to Have Fun based on the hit Cyndi Lauper song?
Sort of. I think it was. I mean, look, I'm looking at this. It came out. I think it was '88 as well.
I see.
And no, I'm sorry. This came out in 1985. But listen to the cast. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And keep in mind, this was not my selection. I have an older sister who's 6.5 years older than me, so that's why I know this film. I didn't have a choice in the matter. But listen to this cast while we're at it. We've got Sarah Jessica Parker, Helen Hunt, Shannon Doherty, Lee Montgomery, who looks like one of the Lawrence boys, but he's not, and Jonathan Silverman. So there you have it.
Okay, that was a all-star lineup in the mid '80s.
Yeah, it was sort of like 2 or 3 steps below the Brat Pack.
Yes. This is discount Brat Pack.
Yeah.
Brat Pack. Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid lineup for the mid '80s. Like they could have added like a cameo by Boy George or Wham and just shot it over the top. But I don't.
Yeah, I don't think they had the budget for it. They had Jonathan Silverman. So while I did run headfirst into playground equipment as a child, I apparently have not learned my lesson, because even as an adult, I still put myself through punishing things that I think are good ideas. Because I tried yoga again recently. And I told you guys about the first time I tried it years ago with my wife. We were doing the P90X yoga in the living room, and I was doing some sort of like prayer twist thing with a lunge to the right, and I got stuck, right? Well, it kind of happened again. So we went to a yoga class recently. It was called Hatha yoga. I thought, was that like,
it's Indian. It's
well, yeah. So I didn't want to say, is it Indian for hot yoga is what I asked her. And she said, no, she wasn't sure what it was. And I said, is it cold yoga? Cause Hatha, like Hoth, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. And then she rolled her eyes and then left the room. But I got stuck again. I was in like, I was seated, right? And then you take your, you sit cross-legged. Almost got canceled there. I was sitting cross-legged, and then you take your right foot and you put it up so your knee is up, and then you take that right foot and put it on the outside of your left knee. Okay. Well, I'm not that flexible, so it just stayed in front of my left knee. And then you're supposed to twist to the right, right? So you're stretching over that right hip and your butt and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Well, problem is I'm not very flexible, and I've not been to a yoga class in a year. And so when I got into this position where I was trying to get into, I was like, just get in here. I'm going to try and get it. And then I had a cramp. Then I had a cramp from hell, and I am still sore in my hip flexor. My hip flexor cramped up on me so bad, it felt like fire going down my thigh.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 days ago, and it still hurts when I just try to raise my leg.
See, and this is just for our listeners. Some, they say that not all Latin men can dance, not all black people can sing. This just goes to say not all white people can do yoga. Even though you guys try so desperately hard to do it. If you just next time you go into a yoga class, look around. If there's no Indians there, leave. If we're not there and we invented it, it's not a good class. I'm just saying. Like if your white instructor, Davy Shanti shows up and wants to namaste the class, just stay in child's pose for the whole class.
How did you know his name? Did you see the sign up online as well?
He spent time in an ashram in India. That was his claim to fame. Instead of saying he was poor and lost in India, there's like he found himself. I'm like, no, you didn't. You ran out of money. That's what happened, and yoga saved your life. That's all
when begging on the streets of Mumbai, just no, get out.
Yeah, that's you. How'd you learn yoga? I was broke in Mumbai. That's how I learned yoga. Yeah, I've been to yoga class. I've been to hot. I've been to vinyasa flows, and I've been to hatha yoga. I've been to all those things, and I know I'm good. I know we invented it, but it's hard. It's not easy. So I understand your plight and your pain.
It was pain. It's like I said, it still hurts.
Yeah, and you're a stocky fella, so it's not really. If you look around the room, there's probably not people your size.
I'm not built for yoga.
No,
I'm ironically, I'm built exactly like the wooden structure I ran headfirst into when I was 5. Maybe that's how I got my shape.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing into the Treehouse now. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, give her and all of them there a call, 214-368-3838, the website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. When I had my house in Dallas, Jacqueline, you came out a few times to help us with some issues, and your response time was phenomenal. And it wasn't just because it was me. It was because that's the kind of company you run. You go out of your way trying to help every client and try to get there as soon as you can.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that plumbing is unfortunately a need and not so much a want. Yes, you can want to remodel the bathroom and that's not pressing, but typically when it comes to service or leak investigations, et cetera, if you've got a stoppage on the main line and you don't know and you keep putting liquid or, waste into the drains, if it has nowhere to go, it will come back in the house. And at that point in time, it's no longer a want, it's a need. And that sort of thing can't wait. When you have those emergencies, you have got to figure out how to manage the crew so that you can have the best response time.
That's right. And they'll show up and they'll do it quickly. Call Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing for any and all of those plumbing wants and needs. 214-368-3838. And again, that website, brooksplumbingtexas.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That previous segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. For your free roof inspection, call Daniel and Carrie Cook today, 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com. Or even when you call 833-COOK-DFW, tell them, hey, put me on the Cook list. So call Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration, 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com. Trey, Raj, I have a very big question to ask of you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Are either of you never poopers?
I don't. I will need more context.
Okay, I will happily provide you with said context. According to a recent survey, 1 in 12 employees have never pooped at work. So I will ask you again, Trey, Raj, are either of you never poopers?
I don't have a typical office job, but I have used the bathroom in comedy clubs before.
So that would make you someone who poops at work. Like if at the Laugh Factory, you're pooping.
No, I would
at the
never.
Improv, you're pooping.
I don't think I've ever pooped at the Laugh Factory. That building has been there since like the 20s, so I don't trust their plumbing.
Okay.
So I would, and I only lived like 17 minutes away. So if it was that bad, I would have just gone back home.
Okay.
It's also like who poops in a bar, like that takes a different level of alcohol consumption to be able to do that.
A desperate person, that's who.
Yes. So I would say I have, but comedy clubs throughout the country. Yes, when I've been at work, and most green rooms will have their own private bathroom. So I have done that.
Trey, what about you? You and I had an office together for many, many years at a radio station, and while I remember you farting in the office a bunch, I don't recall if whether or not you pooped at work.
Only in an emergency. I mean, I didn't like because the bathrooms there were fairly nasty. But
of course it was full of radio people.
Yeah, exactly. Working in bars isn't much better. So I can't say I am a never pooper, but I will say I've only do it in an absolute emergency.
Gotcha. I had no problem with it. I'm fine with it. Like the way I see it is it's part of me using all of the space that I'm expected to use. It's kind of like, I'm going to use the toilet paper. I'm going to use the paper towels. I'm going to use all the stuff. I'm going to drink all the coffee, even when they tried charging us for it. And when they tried charging us for it, they tried to say, no, you can only put 1 pouch in there. Well, that tasted terrible. So I put 2 anyways. And then when you put 2 in there, it makes you need to go number 2. But yes, a new survey on bathroom habits at work. Some people are spending a lot more time in the can than others. 1 in 12 employees claim they have never gone number 2 at work. 34% of those are scared to do that. I've been in a few bathrooms where I can understand that, but if you work in a place where you're that terrified of the bathroom, I think maybe it's time to fill out a complaint form or talk to HR. Nearly 1 in 5 employees refuse to poop at work unless it's absolutely necessary, and 1 in 4 choose to hold it in all day and wait until they get home. You got to be careful with that. That's not healthy.
Yeah, I think that's maybe why like HR people are so mad. If you think about it, if they would just poop, maybe they would be a little more pleasant.
Oh, the HR people.
Yeah.
Did it give a gender breakdown, male female on this on? Because I feel like that women are far more likely to try to hold it or not do it at work.
They did find, I don't see the exact numbers, but they do say here that women are far more likely to dislike pooping at work compared to men.
Gotcha. I mean, when I did have an office job, the buildings that the 2 buildings, one off of Hillcrest and one off of Beltline, very nice bathrooms, very nice offices, very nice bathrooms. And then we also had a bathroom inside of our office in the break room area that was very, very nice and very clean. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't have an issue with it. Now, if it's like, if it's a bathroom, but it looks like the inside of a porta potty at a, Led Zeppelin concert, then no, I wouldn't. I would hold it. I'm not much of a hoverer. I don't know how that works. But no, I mean, but I've also used the bathroom in India, so I don't know how I feel about. There's a conflict there.
Yeah.
So
it's like those awkward bathroom exchanges when you're trying to like flirt with the individual in the stall next to you with doing the little foot thing underneath the partition. Except when you do the foot thing, it's like a cobra tail slinking back.
Yeah, if you were to, because it's a squat toilet, so if you were to try to do the foot thing, you would just fall ass first into the hole.
Well, you know what happens to me when I do yoga, so I don't think you want to see me anywhere near one of those squat holes.
Where's Dan? I had to leave him in India.
He's still squatting. Couldn't get him up.
He's stuck. He's just gonna poop forever. That's all it is. He lives there now.
He managed to get down, but he can't get back up.
he
wore out the life alert around his neck.
He got down, started to poop, got a cramp. He lives there now. That's what.
It's pretty bad when you go in to help your buddy, and I respond with "Just leave me here, save yourself." Tell my family I love them.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
A previous segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, call Jacqueline at Brooks Plumbing. The number 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838. The website brooksplumbingtexas.com. That is brooksplumbingtexas.com. All right, Trey and Raj back in the Treehouse now. You guys are familiar with Gilligan's Island and the song. It goes, it was a 3-hour tour. They got lost and stranded on an island for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to that memory. A 3-hour tour.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider a 4-year tour?
This is the cruise ship, I believe.
Yes. So for those that are so disheartened by the result of any election, people inevitably say, that's it, I'm leaving, I'm not coming back, or I'm leaving while this person's in office and I'm not coming back till they're gone. Well, if you, no judgments here, if you are so disheartened by the outcome of the election, there is an option for you. And it is a 4-year cruise. And the cruise line that is offering this is leaning into it hard by calling it the Skip Forward package. This allows you to spend 4 years on a cruise ship, and you would return home just in time for the next president, whoever that will be. The cruise will travel to all 7 continents and go to 140 countries. Obviously, a 4-year cruise is not going to be cheap. Single occupancy rooms. You guys want to try to guess how much 4 years for one person aboard the 4-year cruise will cost you?
4 years, 140 countries. You're going to need money to get off the ship because it's going to port, and then you want to visit and buy trinkets.
This is for everything on board the ship.
Oh, so all inclusive on the ship. So all the food and I would go with pocket money and such. 300 grand, 350.
Okay. Trey, what about you?
I'm gonna go right at $1 million.
Ooh, interesting. The good news is you guys are ready for a deal because you both overshot it.
Okay.
4 years on a cruise, single occupancy rooms start at $256,000.
Okay.
Double occupancy starts at $320,000. And that does cover everything on board the ship, including all food and drinks. It also includes the fitness center, the spa. I'm sure there's a pool and things. There are also options for shorter cruises of varying lengths, including a midterm option for just 2 years if you just want to see what happens in the House and the Senate. A representative for the company, Villa V Residences, says the trip gives passengers flexibility to escape traffic jams, politics, and the monotony of city life. So I want to ask this question of you again, and now that you are armed with a little more information. If you could afford $300,000 for a 4-year cruise, would you do it? Around the world, 4 years.
Is it the same comic every night?
I can only take so much flip and Orly.
Yeah. Is it the same entertainment? Like, are they flying the entertainers out, or are they?
I would hope that they're going to rotate the entertainment.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're just going to be on a boat for 4 years, just really binge watching Netflix.
Yeah, and then the buffets. You can kind of mix it up. I think you can have a night where it's like, tonight's steak night. We'll do that. And
Yeah, they have the nice restaurants, they have the buffets, and in keeping in mind, you're going to go to ports. You're going to go to 140 countries in 4 years, so you're going to go to ports. You're going to get varying sights and sounds and experiences and food and all that.
There's doctors on board in case you get a little seasick.
Yeah.
There's some spa. I mean, if it's all inclusive in the 3, I would go. I would.
Trey, I can't tell if you look concerned, worried, or
there's no effing way. That is, think about it. You're talking about roughly $65,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's you can barely live in Dallas in a really nice place for $65,000 a year, and that doesn't include and that wouldn't even cover going out and your food and everything else. So you're telling me you're going to have all your meals covered. I mean, that's a deal of a century, but it just sounds like a really bad all-inclusive where, you're going to, be drinking Joe Daniels and, just bad liquor and horrible food.
And Jaeger misses.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with Joe Daniels and imitation crab. I'm just saying.
Every night?
Imitation crab is a natural diuretic. I don't know if you know
that. Is that a chocolate fountain? No, that's just Raj.
Just Raj. He's stuck.
He got stuck at the crab station again.
No, I've been on. When I went on the cruise a couple of years ago, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But
again, could you enjoy it for 4 years?
Wait, Raj, how much did you pay for the cruise?
I was performing on it, so I was free.
Okay.
So Trey, are you saying $65,000 a year is too high or too low?
Too low.
So you're saying it's a good deal?
I'm saying there's a catch because, like I said, you'd be hard pressed to live, on 60. If you were living in a decent place in Dallas,
mm-hmm.
all food. I mean that's going to cover your living expenses in Dallas. Now you're talking about being on a cruise ship.
Yeah, but
all your meals are prepared.
Yeah, but you're not the only one on the ship. It's not like they're just making
exactly. You're covering all the staff. The numbers don't make sense.
Well, if you have 3,000 people paying $300,000, it does make sense.
But think about it, it's per year. I think a 7-day cruise is going to run you what, like $2,000?
They're about 1,500.
Okay, 1,500. So 1,500. I mean it seems really off.
Yeah, if you were the only person on the cruise, I could see why you're going to be drinking liquor and eating Subway sandwiches. But there's going to be 3,000-4,000 people on this that are paying the same amount of money. Not everybody eats the same. Not everybody consumes the same. So it is there. I mean, and then not everybody drinks. Like if you went on the cruise, you wouldn't drink. I
don't know. This might break him.
Yeah.
8 years sober, right off the bow.
And not to mention the other thing is, have you seen that? Do you remember the videos of the cruise ships during the pandemic that had to just sit outside ports for months on end, or the videos of cruise ships that have bugs that run through them?
Yeah. Now, if Dan would have said you're getting on board this cruise for the next 4 years and it's a Carnival cruise, I'd be like, no, not doing that. But this sounds like a decent company that knows what they're doing. And but then again, so did the White Star Line with the Titanic. So I don't know how this could work. I'm just saying.
I'll also say that there are services that have this. There's one called the Residency, like where you buy a cabin and everything else. Cost a lot more than this. So
it's probably because it's nicer.
Well, that's because also remember, whoever's running this cruise ship isn't doing it as a nonprofit. They're trying to make money. So they're cutting a lot of corners to give you this price.
So what you said is, for this cost, 4 years on a cruise ship, you're expecting something else. There's a catch.
Yeah, very much so.
The buffet's just always CC's.
I think you'd be lucky.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
I bet you didn't know you can talk back to us right here inside the Treehouse. Go to treehouseonair.com. Look over to the lower right-hand side of the screen. You'll see a little microphone down there. You can click on that and actually leave us a message. It's been on the website the whole time. I just haven't been promoting it because that's a whole lot of work if you keep leaving me and Trey and Raj bunches of voicemails. But now I feel like we're just about ready to handle that responsibility. So if you would like to talk back to us inside the Treehouse, treehouseonair.com. And then back there on every page, the little microphone, lower right hand, you click on that and record and leave a message. And I bet Jerry will get it. And then if it's good, he'll disseminate it to us. So you now have that option at treehouseonair.com. Congratulations. It's a new feature. All right. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. Let's celebrate some birthdays today. All right. Just misplaced my birthday. There they are. All right. Russell Westbrook is 36 today. NBA player Russell Westbrook, 36 today. Former B2K member and You Got Served superstar Omarion is 40. Anne Hathaway is 42 today. From films like Princess Diaries, Les Miserables, Get Smart, The Devil Wears Prada, that movie Ocean's 8, which even I have not seen. But she was also Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises. And we've all seen Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, right?
I believe so.
Raj, have you seen Anne Hathaway as Catwoman?
I believe so.
How do you not know this?
I think I have. I don't like. What were the movies?
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yep, saw that one.
It's where Bane
Yeah.
and Batman punch each other a lot, and Catwoman's in it.
Yep, then I saw that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
How do you not know?
Bane was just a badass, so I was just I think that kind of stole the show.
Okay.
But yeah,
so you were more focused on Thomas Hardy as Bane than Anne Hathaway's butt in the catsuit. Got it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just like he snaps old Christian Bale's back, and so
comic accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway. By the way, Devil Wears Prada. I have seen that actually.
You enjoyed that movie?
I did.
Of course.
Glenn Close is very talented.
Sure, absolutely.
When that Meryl Streep.
That's what I meant, Meryl Streep.
I love Trey so much. He just says it before I do. It just makes me happy.
That's totally what I meant. At least I got the Anne Hathaway.
But Glenn Close is a great actress. You are correct.
What I said is still true. It's just that she didn't have any role in that particular film.
No, I'm sure she didn't want it.
You know who's good? Jodie Foster.
Mm-hmm. She's great.
Not in that movie, but you know.
I'm just naming, Dame Judi Dench. Who doesn't love her?
No, I said Jodie Foster because when I have brain fart moments like that, my inner voice sounds like Jodie Foster from Nell.
Okay.
That's funny.
Other birthdays today. Oh, thank you, Anne Hathaway. Ryan Gosling turns 44 today. Ryan Gosling is 44 today. He is Sebastian in La La Land, Noah in The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I was just going to say, not in The Devil Wears Prada either.
He was not in The Devil Wears Prada, but he was in the Fall Guy movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed, which, Raj, you look down on just because now when I say I like something, you think it must be terrible, which is not the case.
Yeah, I mean,
Fall Guy was a fun movie. Trey watched it. He enjoyed it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Especially that whole scene where he's chasing the unicorns.
Yeah, that's the best part.
See, quit your judginess. If you'd watch the movie, it would make sense.
I'm not judging. I think Ryan Gosling's great. Isn't he married to Eva Mendes?
Yes.
Isn't that who he's married to? Well, congratulations to him. He's won. He got you guys to watch Fall Guy, and he's married to Eva Mendes. That's wonderful. he wins. I like the guy.
He's also really good in Barbie.
Yep, I was waiting for it.
Can you ever truly forgive him for The Notebook, though?
I don't know if it's entirely his fault. I mean, there was the person that wrote the book.
He read.
Then there was everyone that said, "Hey, let's make this a movie."
He read the script, although it did have the classic line in there. You know, what do you want? But
yeah. Women seem to love the movie. So,
oh God, yes, they do.
Yeah. So,
well, the reason why Trey doesn't like The Notebook is because he doesn't agree with the ending. Because in the ending of The Notebook, the old man dies right after the wife does. Where in Trey's happy ending, the wife dies, and Trey keeps living for 5 to 10 peace-filled years.
I thought in Trey's version he kills the woman and gets away with it and lives for 5 to 10 more years.
That would be the documentary version, as opposed to the romance.
He just took advantage of her Alzheimer's and just killed her.
Or just strangled myself 20 years earlier, just because I saw what was ahead of me.
Having to read from The Notebook for the next 20 years, you just said, F it.
In Trey's version, the movie ends in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Look at the smile on his face.
Think about the lives that would have been saved.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you would like to advertise in the Treehouse, you can do that. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. That is treehouseonair@gmail.com to join the ranks and the likes of Fairlease, Cook DFW, Roofing and Restoration, and Brooks Plumbing. Advertise inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. We talked about the 4-year cruise in case you or someone you know is very unhappy by the result of the presidential election. So you can, get on a boat for 4 years and not come back until there's a new president. That's an option to you. One other piece of election news that we didn't get a chance to cover until now, and that is there was a story circulating online about write-in candidates.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article a few days ago that was circulating online from CNN that said there were 75,000 write-ins for the Hawk Tuah girl. Haley Welch, known as the Hawk Tuah girl from viral fame. There was that article that looked like a screenshot from CNN saying that she received over 75,000 write-ins for the election. However, after doing a little digging on this, it turns out that this is not true. The story is concocted, not by CNN, just one of those things that someone just made on their own, a little bit of Photoshop magic. So no, there were not 75,000 write-ins for the Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch. Although I think it begs the question, are there worse people that you could have written in than the Hawk Tuah girl? I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What was that? Danielle Bregoli or Bad Baby?
Mm-hmm.
She would be worse.
I'm just saying, before we cast judgment on whether or not Hawk Tuah girl would make a good president or not, let's at least see what her foreign policy ideas are.
You weren't kidding. Sorry. I think her the Hawk Tuah thing, I think it sums up her platform. Is what?
Here's the thing: I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Please finish.
People made jokes about Trump's candidacy back in what was it 2015 when he started coming down the escalator, or 2016, whatever it was. Everyone said this is just a publicity stunt. This is ridiculous. He's just trying to capitalize. He's a reality TV show guy. He has no business in politics. Now he's about to embark on his second run as president of the United States. So maybe we shouldn't look down our noses in a POV shot of the Hawk Tuah girl.
I mean, she did have the profound statement that, what's good for the whole isn't always good for the soul. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think she wouldn't choke back on things, is what I'm trying to say. She would let it all in when it comes to foreign policy and even domestic.
Grease the wheels.
I feel like everything in Washington would go very smoothly at the federal level if the Hawk Tuah girl was the president. Nope. I think I still have this. Hang on.
You gotta give him that.
There it is. Okay, here we go. Just imagine. What if the story was not true? What if, let's say, in a number of years, when she's old enough to run, the Hawk Tuah girl actually runs for president, and you hear this?
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing
as a platform for the country.
Well, that's going to be one exciting state dinner. I'll tell you that. That's more of an eyes wide shut theme, but she's going to turn the White House into a brothel. Is what she's going to do. But more power to her. So good on old Haley. From crack baby to viral sensation.
Who's going to be your VP, Snooki?
It's going to be whoever.
No, it'll still be whoever.
Who's going to be whoever has the best mop.
He'll still want it. Pence will still want to join.
It'll be Mike Pence, as long as it's a Republican. He's like, mother says it's okay, as long as I'm not in the room with her by myself. I would love to see Mrs. Pence's face on that one. Woo! All right, thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it. Hope you had fun. We sure did. We will see you tomorrow right here, back inside the Treehouse. And while you're gone, check us out online, treehouseonair.com, and on social media at Treehouse On Air. At Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Raj, at Comedian Raj. Like I said, we'll see you back in here tomorrow in the Treehouse.